Unlock your potential today at skillbakery.com.
Welcome back. Today we finally write real code. By the end of this video, you will have a working MCP server that any AI can talk to. We are building a simple notes and tasks server with 3 tools: list tasks, add tasks, and complete tasks. I will also explain why we install every package, what is really happening when the server runs, and why the terminal looks almost empty. You'll get the complete downloadable project so you can follow along. So let's first start with the project itself. You can create a directory, like over here I have created one, MCP Notes Task Server. Once you have created the directory, the next thing is to write this command npm init -y or -y. This is going to create this package.json file for you, like for me it has created over here. And inside that, you ensure that the type is set to module. We need modern ES modules, and that's the reason why we have set the type to module. Next comes the package installation. So here you can see that I have installed npm install model context protocol, SDK, and Zod. And then the other package that I have installed is npm install -d TypeScript TSX types nodes. Now let me explain exactly why we need each one. So the first one that you see, model context protocol SDK, this is the official library from the MCP team. It gives us the MCP server class, the transports, and all the protocol handling. Without it, we would have to implement JSON, RPC, or remote procedure call ourselves. Then the next thing that we installed was Zod. Now Zod is the TypeScript first schema library. When we define a tool, the AI needs to know exactly what arguments it accepts, like name, type, required or optional description. Zod creates that schema. The MCP protocol then sends this schema to the AI so the model can call the tool correctly. This is one of the most important parts of MCP. The AI doesn't guess, it reads the schema. And the next one that we installed was this TSX. So it lets us run TypeScript files directly without compiling first, which is perfect for development. Next we had the TypeScript types node, which gives us safety and Node.js type definitions. So here in our tsconfig.json, you'll notice that we have defined the types as node as well. So you need to create this file as well once you are done with the package.json installation. And inside this tsconfig file, ensure that we have these compiler options set. Do note that types nodes could not be there, so you might have to include it on your own. And once you do that, you'll be all good to go. Now, let's go inside src directory index.ts file. So here, you'll notice these 3 imports that we have. The first one is the MCP server. This is the main object that will hold our tools. Then we have stdio server transport, the way the server will talk to clients. We will explain this deeply in a moment. And then we have Z from Zod, so we can describe the shape of tool arguments. Next, you can see we have created this interface called tasks, which consists of ID, title, description, completed, and created at. Using this task, we are creating in-memory list of tasks, and this basically acts as our temporary database. After that, we are creating the server, and to create the server, you'll notice that now we are making use of MCP Server, which we imported earlier. So this MCP Server accepts 2 things, name and version. So once we have done that, we have our server instance. Using the server instance, we have the tools. So remember, we are building simple notes and tasks server with 3 tools: list tasks, add tasks, and complete tasks. So here you have the list task, then you have the add task, and then you have the complete task. This server instance that we have created is the heart of our MCP server. All tools we register will live on this object. So here you can see we have registered server.tool over here and server.tool over here. So all these 3 tools are now registered with this server instance. So the first one is the list task, and here you'll notice that it is not expecting any parameters. It just returns the current list of tasks in a readable text format. And this task that we created earlier in memory is what it is returning when we run the application. The next one is the add task. Now, add task definitely takes two parameters, the title and description, and it is going to add this in the same task collection that we had. So here we are pushing it into that tasks list, and this is what it is returning. And here in add task, you will see Zod in action. So see this, and you'll notice that the title is being mentioned over here, the title of the task, and then the description comes up, which is again of type string. So the described text is especially important. The AI reads these descriptions to understand when and how to use the tool. Let's go to the next tool that we have, and that's complete task. Here it is expecting one parameter, that's ID. So the complete task basically takes a numeric ID and marks that task as done. If the ID doesn't exist, we return an error message. And the response that you see over here, every tool must return data in this shape, the type and text. Now this is the standard MCP response format. And finally over here you can see that we are starting our server. So here's the most important concept. What is the STD-IO transport? Now the server does not open a normal HTTP port. Instead, it communicates through standard input and standard output. That's why we have STD in and STD out, using JSON RPC messages. And that is the reason why, if you see over here, when we say npm start, you'll notice that it is just going to print one line and that's it. It appears like it's doing nothing. But the process is actually waiting for a client like Cloud Desktop, Cursor, or Inspector to connect and send JSON messages through STDIN. Over here, the critical rule, as you can see, we have not used console.log, we are using console.error. Because if you write console.log, it writes to the standard output and will corrupt the JSON RPC stream. So always use console.error for any debug messages. Now you can see that the server is running, but you have no easy way to talk to it yet. So how do you do that? How to communicate with the server? One way is to write this lengthy command, that's npx model context protocol /inspector, then tsx, and then you point to the file index.ts that's inside the src directory. Or you can do it the other way, like running npm run inspect, and then here you'll get the URL with the token pre-filled, otherwise you will have to fill in this token. So what you do is you click on this link, press Alt, and it will open the UI. So this is the MCP server up and running. So when you write this npm run inspect, behind the scenes, it's basically doing three things for us. It launches your server as a child process using stdio. It acts as a real MCP client. It gives you a nice visual interface where you can see the tools, fill in arguments, call them, and inspect the raw JSON responses. This is the fastest and safest way for beginners to test before connecting to Cloud Desktop or Cursor. So you now have a real working MCP server and you understand why everything is set up this way. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So here I can click on connect and you can see the JSON responses are coming up over here in our log, new stdio connection request. You get all these messages, received post message for this particular session, and you can see it says notes and tasks MCP server is running on stdio. And there you go, you have the tools coming up over here. If I go ahead and say list tool, you'll see the list of tools that we added in our index.tsx file. The first one is the list tasks, which says list all tasks, returns ID, title, description, completed status, and created date. Let's click on this. So over here, when we do that, in the history, you will notice that what all we have done. So we have invoked this tools list, and here you get the list tasks coming up. So you just click on run tool, and you'll notice that it has executed and here the tool result is success, and it is returning those two in-memory tasks that we had. What you can do next is click on add task, and here you have the title and description. So I just filled in another sample task, another task description. Click on run tool, and this is again running and giving you the result over here as success. Task created successfully, another sample task, another task description. Now let's go ahead and click on list task just to see whether we have the updated task coming up in our list or not. And there you go. We have our newly added task as part of the list. Then you can go ahead and say complete task, let's say, and here let's enter the ID as 3 and click on run tool. So it's going to find whether a task with this ID exists or not. If it does, it's just going to mark it as complete. So here you have great task 3. Another sample task has been marked completed. Now let's go back and click on list task, run tool, and see here you can see that it has been ticked off, and that's how all the tools are running. You have a history over here when you call the tool, and you also get to see the communication behind the scenes. The code will be provided as part of GitHub repository, and you can download and test it out. In the next video, we'll add resources so the AI can also read data, not just call.
If you find the video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.